Hey, what's up everyone? We're gonna talking about iPad Air 2 batteries and specifically how to remove them and how to install the new battery very safely and easily. Without further ado, let's get started. Here on my workbench, I have an iPad Air 2 that a customer brought in for bad battery life. Let's take a closer look. We could actually see separation from the glass and the edges. We knew that it definitely had a bloated battery. Let's start. Turn on heat mat. Make sure iPad's power off before put it on heat mat. In order to remove screen then battery, I actually have this set on my heat mat around 78 degrees to remove any small components from iPads, from any other kind of device, as it makes the adhesive a little bit softer than normal. Waiting for a few minutes later, you could feel the heat on iPad and start to take off the screen. The adhesive softer and allows plastic cards to cut through and slice the adhesive very easily. We're also going to use a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. Using the alcohol, it does break down the adhesive, but it doesn't make it gummy like acetone, so we really don't like to use acetone very often. So we use a lot of times in 99% isopropyl alcohol. If you feel it's a bit hard to slide in the plastic card, you can put iPad back on heat mat again for a while, or use a lot of times in 99% isopropyl alcohol. We used the plastic pry tool into the glass and frame and pulled it around the corner like so. Just gently to do it. Once the entire seals all the way around has been broken, go ahead, start lifting it up. Go ahead, start lifting it up from the top, where the front-facing camera is, and it just unfolds like that. Gently to pull the touch glass, there are flex cables connected. There are 3 Phillips head screws on the cover shield. We need to unscrew them and remove the bracket. Before we go ahead, we need to place a piece of plastic as a battery isolation tool to cut all the power of iPad. Alright, let's keep going to remove the cover that's screwed in with screws. They are different size, try not to mix up. Now, move the cover out of the way and go ahead and pry apart these 3 connections. Go ahead and pry those apart by just gently pulling up on them. They should pop out of their sockets relatively. The first is the LCD screen, and then the next 2 are the digitizer. Then, easy peel back the screen and put it aside. Then I actually have this set on the heat mat again. It makes the adhesive a little bit soft. We use 99% isopropyl alcohol around the edges. I would like to work on the heat mat. It is much easier. Please use the plastic tool only, no metal, it will make scratches and damages. The plastic tool is easy to slide in and lift the battery up when the adhesive is soft. When the battery is lifted up, don't forget to turn off the heat mat. Very careful once again. Work your way up to the battery connector and you don't want to slide across it. Because you could damage the battery connector, just lift up the motherboard a bit. You don't want to move the motherboard out all the way because there's no reason to you. Only need to lift up about a quarter inch, just a few millimeters, in order to lift this battery out. And what you'll do at this point is you can lift this battery from the back. And if we can get this, then lift your battery up and pull it out. Before we insert our new battery into this device, we do want to clean up any of the residue itself. Sometimes at first you may be tempted to go get some adhesive remover and just start working on it right away. However, we want to remove as much bulk adhesive as we can, so we're gonna take a scraper. With a scraper you can scrape off all the excess adhesive incredibly easily. So what you'll do is just go ahead and scrape on it like this, and as you can see the adhesive is coming right off, leaving just the slightest residue, so it comes up very easily. So you want to work around the edges and work to pull off as much as adhesive you can. Just hold about a 45 degrees angle against the iPad surface and you'll start to see large amounts them off. I would want to clean this up before putting the iPad battery on. And just to keep the repairs clean as OEM spec as possible, so what you'll do for this one here. In order to clean it up all the way, you can use isopropyl alcohol for this. So a lot of times, I do like to use that, so just go ahead and work around the iPad itself. And you should start to fill to clean off any of that alcohol residue, and as you can see it's cleaning up incredibly quickly, and it's cleaning up incredibly well. So just keep working until it is fully clean. Alright. Perfect. And at this point, after you've cleaned it up all the way, it's time for our new battery. In order to install this new battery is very easy. You want to go ahead and pull off the bottom of the cover where the adhesive has its protective cover on there. Set the battery in and get the battery tab to sit fully flush. We are going to lift up the back of the iPad or the logic board itself of the iPad, and as you slide it on, you'll feel your battery fall down on the top of that little standoff nub. And then once it is, you can then lay the rest of your battery in there. And it all should sit perfectly flat. Go ahead and not push with your hand, and you can grip the battery and kind of move it back and forth in order to work it onto the back of the housing. This will ensure that it's completely in place as it should be. Before we go ahead, we need to place a piece of plastic as a battery isolation tool to cut all the power of iPad, ensuring that it doesn't get loose and bang up against the back of the LCD once you fully assemble the iPad. In order to assemble the iPad as the LCD screen and touch glass, following the video step by step, make sure all screws back on the right place and contact all the cables again. Before you put the glue on, please check and make sure the power can be on again. Perfect. Time to put some glue on the edges of iPad. Clean up as clean as possible before put on the touch glass. Check the iPad is working again, then swipe and clean the extra glue and dirt. Appreciate your watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also hit the like button, and don't forget to leave a comment below on what you'd like to see in future videos. See you in the next videos.